I do know. It's just about this, and then it changes color. What's really scary? I thought you. Roar!
Roar!
My ears get more stir, and it is a roar!
Your lips are really popping.
I see.
You feel popping?
Yeah. This is Emma's favorite week so far of the podcast.
It is my favorite one. Oh no. My piece started. Put it back. I know what I said. Oh no.
How's it looking?
Looks like someone punched you in the face.
Yeah. Your right one needs more.
Oh, Jesus, Emma! You got enough?
Mama. It's Mama.
Do you even know what these things are?
Mama.
I just read it. Yeah, I knew this was live. Shout out.
Mama.
Let's see him.
Welcome back, Fairweather fans. We're here with the pretty Pete.
Pete Tricia.
The pistol with the makeup. Did you enjoy that experience with Emma?
Yeah, your daughter did a great job.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks
Looks
great.
pretty good. Yeah.
I think I did a pretty good job too.
Yeah, you did well also.
Snub Hut. He did his part.
Yeah, thank you, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What a performance by that
By
guy.
both of them. They did great, both of them.
Revenge game Le'Veon.
That was ugly.
Maybe I lost faith in him after that came down.
Maybe.
But so what do we got on the docket today? What interesting storyline do you have for us today, Pistol?
My first, well, the only storyline I have, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I thought, honestly, if you look at the game, I think Baltimore should have won the game. But the 4 turnovers from Lamar Jackson was just egregious. I don't know if the guy bet the Steelers plus 4.5, but he was just throwing terrible picks at like the worst times and just fumbling the ball. They had like 200 and something rushing yards. I'm like, just keep running the ball. It was just frustrating, and do you guys think Pittsburgh is like a legit contender against the Chiefs?
I for sure think that they are a legit contender. I mean, they're a complete team. Their defense is solid, and probably the best defense in the league. And then their offense, it's hitting on points. Their wide receivers are nothing to snuff about. Like, Juju hasn't had a huge year, but he's still a good receiver. And then Claypool is coming to his own, and people are big on Deontay Johnson for some reason. But
Got hurt again.
Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah.
he might be back for the playoffs, But I think, that's definitely going to be a team to contend with. With the Ravens storyline, I'm still at the same point. Like, he had to throw the ball, and he did poorly. Lamar.
I think the Ravens are still going to be top 3 AFC team, but I think the Steelers match up with the Chiefs better than any other team in the entire AFC. I think their defense is really good. I think they have a 2-dimensional offense. They can grind it down with James Conner, or they could pass. They have 3 weapons, nice tight end. If I'm a Chiefs fan, the only team I'm even slightly worried about is Steelers because they have the defense to guard the Chiefs. But yes, I think the Steelers are a definite Super Bowl candidate.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just there weren't many people saying that before the year started. I didn't hear a lot of people on the Steelers drum.
We definitely wrote off Big Ben really early in the season without seeing him because we just thought of his age. After getting injured last year, we just kind of wrote him off thinking he hit that wall, he's done. But obviously he's showing us differently.
We should have saw it with, Brady, Breeze, all these old... Rivers stinks, but Rivers, there's all these old Big Ben's better than Rivers. There's a lot of old quarterbacks out there still getting the job done, and Ben still has something left to prove. I'd be worried about the Steelers just a slight bit if I'm the Chiefs, and that's about the Steelers and the Seahawks are about the only 2 teams I'm worried at if I'm a Chiefs fan.
All right, fair enough.
It'll just come down to that last drive, and Big Ben throws it to Eric Ebron, and he drops it in the end zone. Because that's what Ebron is good for, dropping.
There's your Lions
passes.
fan showing.
Well, or just knowing that Ebron can't catch a ball. Or Deontay Johnson, also known for dropping the balls.
And leaving the game, but...
And leaving the game.
Yeah, they should just sit him till the playoffs. Like,
They didn't play one game. So, we really want to get into the Niners and all those injuries. They kept competing with all the injuries, and then after this week, they had more. Jimmy G probably was hurt going into the game anyways, and then gets 1 fantasy point this week. I picked him up. Just needed like 8.
Tough.
No,
Not quite.
no. But it actually got me to thinking about how Kyle Shanahan was with the Washington Redskins at the time, with RG3 playing hurt and ruining his career. So I was like thinking, is this a Kyle Shanahan thing, just pushing players to play through their injuries and further like injuring themselves and ruining their careers?
I don't know if I agree with it that much, but Kyle Shanahan has been a double-edged sword. He's got those injuries with RG3, the injury with Jimmy G, pushing through these injuries, and he also has blown the 2 biggest Super Bowl leads. He's been a part of the 2 biggest Super Bowl blown leads in history. So he's a great coach, but he has his major flaws. But Andy Reid had his major flaws too for the longest time. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination, but there is something to say about all these flaws.
Right. I'm not saying he's bad. I like Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a great offensive-minded coach. I mean, without him, the Falcons don't even make it there. Without him, obviously, I don't think the Niners make it there last year either. It's just he might be pushing them too hard, and not like pushing him too hard. It's just like, why are you pushing these players to play through injuries?
I think you touched on it. I think it's the mindset, because his dad was the coach. Mike Shanahan was the coach of that Redskins team. So I think he's just got that old school 90s mentality where they're just like, yeah, the medical staff has some say, but I think he's just asking the player. And any player's going to play.
Yeah.
Like if you ask the guy, and that's what I think's going on, because to let Jimmy G play in that Dolphins game where they got blown out and then they sit him again, and then they play him like last week. I'm like, he's not, like he was never right. And a high ankle sprain's tricky. Like you can be out 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It just depends. And I think he just has that old school mentality from his dad that's influencing him. But yeah, they need to either fire their medical staff or because there's like 5 high ankle sprains like on that roster.
It really
And
is.
it's just it's odd. I don't know.
I think the high ankle sprain could have a lot to do with the whole COVID, the no training camp, no preseason. It can be a freak injury, but also it's getting your joints and bones used to it. I think the Niners are one of the biggest teams that are hurting because of no time to get ready. There's a lot of injuries that would just happen because they happen, but I think high ankle sprain could be one of them, and like tissue injuries and stuff. And like Kittle is just a tough breaking a small bone in your foot. That's tough. But yeah, I can see the old school mentality with Kyle Shanahan, where high ankle sprain, you're out for 2 possessions, where nowadays you're out for 4 weeks like you should be. So I definitely see that a lot.
Yeah. And I don't like the Tevin Coleman thing. I hate getting a guy off IR and just putting him out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's brittle as it is. And I just don't. I don't think he was healthy, obviously. I didn't even see the play he got hurt on. He had 3 carries for like 20-something yards. I'm like, oh, he's starting off well, and then he just leaves and he's done.
Yeah, I only saw his first carry, which I wasn't even sure if he was going to play or not. Which at this point, I don't think I'm starting any Niners offensive players. I have Ayuk, but
Ayuk's nice.
Ayuk has one of the best nicknames in all of football, so it's Goofy's laugh. Ayuk. I don't.
What was that
That's
again?
pretty
Ayuk. So I usually start him when I can, but he's about the only Niner I'd be starting until at least Mostert comes back. Maybe McKinnon in a pinch, but
McKinnon's not doing well at all.
yeah, but now that Kittle and Debo and everybody's out there, I think they're going to start using him as the playmaker. But other than Ayuk and McKinnon, I'd sit every single Niner.
Yeah, I'm just fading them.
Right, and I don't think, their bid for a playoff spot is done.
No, they're done. They're finished.
With the advanced playoffs,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
You'd have to have
the
four
South,
teams in that
the
division.
the South, the Rams, they're probably done. But I wouldn't put it past the Niners to make a little run to at least be competitive down the stretch.
They're going to try to be competitive. I just don't see it happening, obviously. That's all I got for that.
Yeah.
What you got for this week's daily?
Not daily, where I'm going to go with season long, with it being the actual trade deadline today.
That's right.
And a lot of leagues having trade deadline coming up. I'll do the buy and sell. If kind of buy low, sell high, but they're not all They're not all low or high. But my buy at quarterback is Lamar Jackson. His schedule down the stretch is absolute cake. He's underperformed and still not playing terrible. His rushing upside is huge. I think you got to buy high, or not buy high, but just buy Lamar Jackson. I think there could be people in this that are just done with it and willing to get rid of him for what they think is an equal quarterback and another piece.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely underperformed. I mean, people took him first, second round, and I personally never do that, but I mean, you can definitely get him. I just don't, I think a lot of people would take Justin Herbert over Lamar Jackson going the rest of the way, and if you want Lamar, you can ship Herbie and make that offer.
Yeah, for sure. And also just ship him a guy like Ayuk, a guy like, not Jarvis Landry, but a middling wide receiver or running back on top just to juice a trade up and get a guy who you know his ceiling is number one quarterback in fantasy. And what he's done prior has nothing to do with what he's going to do forward, and his schedule is cake. And
I don't like it.
Yeah, Juan doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't love it either, but if you believe in Lamar Jackson, if you think, I mean, he's outside the top 12 right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think his ceiling is not. I think it's top 5 maybe this year. I think he's too far back.
I just meant going forward.
Yeah.
His ceiling, his ceiling is top quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it's high, but I don't know what I'm willing to give up for him. I'm not throwing in I'm not throwing in Brandon Ayuk and Justin Herbert.
I was gonna say if I'm sitting there for some reason having Lamar Jackson, but I'm never spending that draft capital on him anyways. But if I was, and you offered me Justin Herbert and Ayuk, I'm definitely taking it. Yeah.
I'd take it. I like the other side.
So,
definitely like the other side.
Like I said, you hear, you can get it done. Get Lamar Jackson on your team. Another guy, he's been injured. At running back, Nick Chubb. People forgot about him. Kareem Hunt has shown that he's not the bell cow back. He is a change of pace back. Nick Chubb did in 3 weeks, sharing with Hunt what Hunt has done in 4 weeks without Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is a smash running back, and he could end up down the stretch from here on out being a top 5, top 6 running back going forward. I love trying to get Nick Chubb off of a struggling owner. If he's missed Nick Chubb, he's obviously probably lost a few games that he shouldn't and is desperate. I would try my best to get Nick Chubb.
No, I love that one. I love trying to get Nick Chubb, honestly.
But, the problem is who's trying to get rid of Nick Chubb at this point.
The guy that's been missing
win.
Nick Chubb and has lost games because his first round.
Because they're on a bye this week.
Yeah,
so if
exactly.
a guy needs a win.
Are you really that desperate for a win for 1 week?
Could be.
It's coming down the stretch.
That you're giving up your running back RB1?
I mean, if you're coming down,
if you're 4-4,
not even 4-4, you could beat. I mean, a guy like that could be 2-6, 3-5, and he needs a win to stay in. I'm taking. There's people willing to trade Chubb. I can promise you that. And my last one is wide receiver. It's not even a buy low, but I just think this guy's we've seen a ceiling, and the best yet to come is A.J. Brown. People think that Corey Davis is doing similar things, and Titans are a run-heavy offense. I think you get A.J. Brown for a decent price. I'm trying to get A.J. Brown on every team I have.
A.J. Brown's a beast.
I have A.J. Brown on my team. You're not getting him for a decent price. I'll tell you that right now. I love A.J. Brown because he's a guy, he could have literally 1 to 2 points going into like the third quarter, but he can hit that 70-yard touchdown. Like, he's just explosive. And I like guys like that. I'm not getting rid of A.J. Brown, but if you can go get him, yeah. Like, I would
definitely target him.
Yeah, I'd give up any of the Rams receivers for A.J. Brown. I'd give up a lot of... I'd give up Michael Thomas for A.J. Brown. Honestly.
I don't know if I could do that straight up. I also don't think that Michael Thomas is the same Michael Thomas from last year, but...
How do we even know?
Exactly. I saw one game, and it wasn't pretty.
That's true.
There's
one
issues
game.
there. There's just
for sure.
internal locker room issues that aren't coming out yet. But
I think people will be worried every single Thursday A.J. Brown doesn't practice, and he's considered questionable going into the game. People are worried about it, but they've been resting his knee on Thursdays since last year. So anybody who's worried about A.J. Brown, trade for him.
Yeah, trade for him. Actually, I kind of want to go back to the Michael Thomas and like the locker room issues. Do we really think it's a locker room issue, or do we think it's... Oh, man, what was that guy's name? The cornerback that he punched in the face?
Gardner Johnson.
Gardner Johnson. And then he got punched in the face by another receiver on a different team.
Well, Michael Thomas, there's been rumors about Michael Thomas just being a pain in the ass since college.
So he might have been, but there's got to be a connection between being a cornerback and getting punched in the face by your teammate, and then a week or 2 weeks later getting punched in the face in a game by a different receiver.
Yeah, he accused him of spitting on him.
I have also heard that Gardner Johnson is a guy that just gets under people's skin. You can't see it on the field, but when you're there and the things he says and the things that he does just gets under your skin and you want to hit him. I've heard a lot of rumors about him just getting under people's skin.
If Michael Thomas, if he does not play at Tampa this week, then I don't know I don't know why they didn't trade him. I don't know what you're doing then. Because from all reports I've heard is he's pretty healthy. Like, he's ready to go.
Hit his high ankle sprain 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, he tweaked a hammy, but I heard he was practicing like on a limited basis all last week. I'm like, we'll see.
Maybe they're saving him for the playoffs.
We'll see.
They got to make it first.
But my sell is Josh Allen. Probably a couple weeks too late after he was going for 300, 400 yards every week, but I just think the Bills have been struggling. They're not a pass-heavy team. They're going to try and rely on their weak run game with their running backs and Josh Allen. I just don't see Josh Allen keeping it going, moving forward. If I have Josh Allen, I'm moving him for Lamar. Josh Allen and something for Lamar. I'd rather have Lamar going forward than Josh Allen.
I think you can get that straight up. But I think he hadn't been the same since he dislocated his shoulder in that Raiders game. He wears a brace. I don't think he's running nearly as much. They're not calling QB runs for him as much. And I think he's I know it's not his throwing shoulder, but if his rushing upside isn't like what it usually is, like his ceiling, I see what you're saying there. I don't
hate it.
I don't hate that.
He definitely started the year like he was going to be dominant this year, and then he fell off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Really did. Went from throwing for 300 yards a game to throwing for like 150 yards a game.
Well, all the things that people had reservations on, him coming out of the draft, it's creeping up. I mean, he's missing some throws that you just need to make, and he's throwing some awful picks lately. And the weather in Buffalo just gets horrendous.
Yeah, exactly. That
so it's not getting any better. He's just reverting back to last year's Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm. My running back sell is, alongside with Chubb, is Kareem Hunt. He's shown that even if Chubb were to re-injure, he's not that bell cow. He's better off when Chubb is there, but I feel like you can get a lot for Kareem Hunt going forward, especially if people just like buy into his eating into Chubb and his pass catching ability. I would try and get rid of Kareem Hunt for whatever I could.
No, I agree with that. I'd try to, if I have Kareem Hunt in the league. I'd toss him to an Austin Eckler owner. I'd try to get Austin Eckler for Kareem Hunt. I don't know when Austin Eckler's getting, his hamstring was torn off the bone.
Yeah.
And Anthony Lynn a few weeks ago said it'll be later than sooner when he comes back. But, yeah, I'd try to get rid of Kareem Hunt.
The only reason I don't like the Eckler call is because you need the Chargers to compete for them to even bring back Eckler. They paid Eckler in the offseason, so if they're not going to compete this year, if they keep losing games, there's no reason for them to rush Eckler back. I have Eckler in damn near every league, and I want him to come back so bad. And if I knew Eckler was going to come back week 11, week 10, I would snap that off in a heartbeat. But there's no telling if they just keep Eckler sidelined for the rest of the year. But somebody like Eckler, somebody like Miles Sanders or Joe Mixon, somebody who is on a bye this week on a hurting team that has a losing record, I would try and get rid of Hunt, even package him with somebody just to get to a better running back.
Problem with your argument is Cleveland's on a bye this week, so.
Yeah, that is tough.
You're not getting that. But, yeah, I see what you're saying.
That breaks it even, though, at least.
Oh, that's a landslide Sanders win.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But people hate Sanders, too, and they think all he is injured, so.
Yeah.
Who's your wide receiver
To
sell?
It's not even just wide receiver. It is any Cowboy you have on your roster. Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. You should already drop Michael Gallup. Nobody's trading for him. Dalton Schultz, Jason Garrett. Any Cowboy you've ever had, just get rid of them for scraps. I don't care. The Cowboys are a mess. I have no faith in Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush or Kellen Moore. I don't care.
There's going to be buyers for Elliott.
There will be.
There's
And
going to
I
be buyers for
I'd
CeeDee
sell.
Lamb.
I'd sell
I'd
those guys.
In a league, I sold Ezekiel Elliott pretty much for Joe Mixon straight up, and I'd do that in a heartbeat now. If you can get Joe Mixon, you can get Miles Sanders, you can get Nick Chubb, I'd sell Ezekiel Elliott immediately. He's not going to be the same running back. They've been moving towards Pollard because they have so much invested into Elliott. They're not going to have him hurt in a year. They're going to have a top 10 pick. I wouldn't be shocked if they just shut down Zeke the last 5 weeks of the season and just said, we're packing up, we're seeing what we have in Pollard, showing him off for trades. Get rid of any Cowboy you have now.
No, I totally agree. I'd get rid of all of them if you could. I think you could get something. You definitely get something for Zeke, and I still think you get something for Amari because he's still wide receiver 10, like on the year. I know he had a terrible game last week, but his name, like people bite on that name. I would take some low wide receivers for Amari Cooper, honestly.
I'd take Fulgham for Amari Cooper straight up.
Oh, yeah. I'd take that in a heartbeat.
I think people are still going to be on CeeDee Lamb, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's shown to be the backup quarterback's favorite target playing out of the slot, no matter who they start.
Yeah. I think CeeDee Lamb will still do decent going forward. He won't do terrible.
He has easy targets.
He won't. Yeah, definitely. He definitely doesn't have a high ceiling anymore.
No, yeah.
But moving forward, let's get on to the bets. Well, who you got this week?
Bet of the week.
What'd you go last week, by the way? Didn't we all go 1-2?
Yeah, it was a
We all went
technicality. I said by the hook, but yeah, we'll call it a loss.
We all went 1-2.
1-2, but we'll get back on the winning train here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the Chargers can stop giving up 20-point leads.
It's been going that way for 15 years, buddy.
Yeah, my first bet, I think it's a lock. I'm taking Baltimore at the Colts, -2.5. Baltimore's going to win that game. They're, like I said, they could have won easily last week at Pittsburgh. The Colts have played the easiest schedule in the league. I'm not impressed with them killing Detroit last week. And Phillip Rivers, good luck moving around against that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be a long day for Phillip Rivers.
It will be.
I can't believe that line. Get the line now because it's going to move up.
I would bet the alternate line on that. I think the Ravens would smack the Colts this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, so my first one, going back to the Raiders, because that was my one win last week, and going back to it, Raiders plus 1.5 against the Chargers. So 2 teams that I bet on, except the Chargers let me down and the Raiders helped me out, so I'm going with the Raiders plus 1.5.
You sprinkling the money line like you told people to do last week?
Huh? Yeah, definitely would take Raiders over Chargers. I mean, 1.5 points isn't a lot, so
That line was like 4 when it opened yesterday.
yeah. The money line's probably not going to do you much better. So, I mean, at least it'll be more than what you're betting on, at least. Whereas 1.5 is you're not getting 1-to-1. So, yeah, take the money line.
I hate backing up the Raiders, but I like that bet. Can't trust the Chargers.
No, I like the bet too. I just think the Raiders are a better football team than the Chargers.
And they've been playing a lot harder.
Yeah, they have. I just think, the Chargers. They're going to blow it if they get a double-digit lead here. Bet the money line on the Raiders, the live line.
Yeah.
Look for the live line. Like if it's like 10-1, you throw $10. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going back to one of my misses on my first bet, the Pete Special, Pack minus 5.5 versus the Niners. Pretty sure the Niners are starting me at running back, Pete at quarterback, and Wong's playing all 3 secondary positions.
So we're gonna win.
So many injuries. I just can't trust that Niners team, and the Packers coming off a loss. Short week for both teams. I just like the Pack to cover at least 5.5.
It's nervous. If it goes up to 6.5, I can't roll with the Packers. But 5.5, I don't love it. They can't stop the run. I don't care if
they don't have a running back.
Jermichael Hasty, that's.
Hasty's gonna have a day.
Not many people thought Raheem Mostert was great last year, and then he gashed him for like 250 in that playoff game.
That playoff game, the NFC champion, a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and your Packers shit the bed.
That line
That's what
just
happens
makes me
when you
nervous.
have like the easiest path to the NFC Championship.
Just makes me nervous. I don't know.
The schedule.
We'll see.
Path, yeah.
What's your second then?
Raiders, Chargers, like you said, take the over 53. That's gonna smash.
0 defense in that game.
Yeah, they're gonna go up and down the field. I think the Chargers with Herbert have hit their overs like 3 out of 4 starts. I know they hit it against Jacksonville. They hit it last week, smashed it last week. They're just in shootouts. They're always in shootouts. So take over 53.
So my second one, I was trying to think of a response to yours, but I can't really.
Yeah, just smash it. Yeah.
I'm taking Giants +3 against Washington. Daniel Jones is getting a lot of hate, which I don't think he should get as much hate. I know he hasn't looked great, well, with his turnovers, but he's looked decent making plays. He's just getting in over his head and doing too much at times, so then he turns the ball over. But you can't deny, like, that dude has talent. Like, he's an athlete.
I agree.
And as much as we all like to give him a hard time falling with that
great
athlete. That dude got up there. He was fast.
Fastest quarterback in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And he tripped over himself.
He was running so fast that his body couldn't keep up.
God.
But yeah, again, Giants +3. I think they're a better team than they've been showing. I mean, they've been keeping up for the most part with the other teams.
My theory, that's the correct side. That the one big parlay I did hit this year, I heard those 2 teams are not good enough to be favored by 3. So the first time they met, I took the Redskins +3 at New York, and they covered. And I think the Giants will cover this game in Washington. I just don't think Washington's good enough to be favored by 3.
No.
Well, here I am out on an island.
Yeah.
I like Washington big
-3.
in this game.
Big?
I mean, big is in like 10 points.
That's...
No.
I wouldn't bet 10 points, but I think Washington could win this game by 10. That defense is the best unit on that entire field.
Giants' defense ain't bad either.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Giants' defense.
Well, the Redskins' defense is the best unit by far on that field.
That's fine. It was close. It was close earlier. They won by 1.
I think it'll be a low-scoring game.
Oh, yeah, take the under.
I'm not sure what the over-under is, but
Probably
yeah, if it's like
43.
50.
Oh, it's like low 40s, mid 40s.
Well, now they're playing on PLMS's field in the FedEx Field in Washington, so I'll take the defensive battle.
That's fine. I'm taking the points.
Yeah, I'll take the points too. Take the points.
Do not take -10.
Speaking of taking the points, this bet looks prettier than Pete does right now. Saints plus
What?
5.5 versus the Buccaneers. The Saints that beat the Bucs last time out. I know it's breeze outside. It's outside in Tampa, so it's 75 and sunny.
Yeah, the Hurricanes are already passed.
There's no reason why the Saints should be 5.5-point underdogs to any team not named Seattle
What?
in the NFC.
But the Buccaneers just beat the Giants by like 8 points.
They beat the Giants by
By
2
2.
points.
Or 2 points. Yeah,
So why are the Saints 5.5? The line stinks, and last week when I said it, the Rams-Dolphins line stunk, and the Dolphins kicked their ass. This stinks to high heaven, and I'm just sticking with it. Saints plus 5.5.
The Bucks will win this game, but I would probably take the points. It's last week, easy. They're overlooking the Giants. They're playing a division opponent this week, so like that happens a lot. And then the Bucks have to win this game if they want to win the division. They
Yeah,
just have
for
to.
sure. Yeah, they'll.
So I'm gonna take the Bucks, but I will take plus 5.5. I think they win by 3 or 4. Yeah, I think it's a close game.
Agreed.
I think the Saints win again. So
Okay.
I'm definitely taking the points. Easily.
Yeah.
What's
What's
your
your last one?
Last one, taking the points. I don't know how. I'm taking the Bears plus 5.5 at Tennessee. I don't think the Titans are 5.5 points better than the Bears because the Bears' defense is too good. They do not get blown out. They're in every game. They're gonna keep. And the Titans' defense is terrible. Their secondary is awful. I know Nick Foles hadn't looked great, but they barely lost to the Saints last week. And like I said, I just think the Bears' defense is good enough to keep them around, so I'm taking the 5.5.
I don't think Nick Foles is that bad either. So Nick Foles.
I think it's Matt Nagy's play calling has been terrible too.
Yeah, I think Foles has definitely kept him in the game. Well, I mean, obviously the Bears' defense, but yeah, Foles has held his own.
I mean, it's like you put some toilet cleaner in a bowl, a bag of shit, and some piss, and you're like, well, what's the problem here? They all suck. The offensive line sucks. The quarterback sucks. The play calling sucks. And the only reason they almost beat the Saints because they played Drew Brees outside in bad weather. I don't like that at all. It's Derrick Henry season. It's getting cold, hard to tackle. I like the Titans in that game.
No, that's fine. You can like them by 3 or 4, but not 5.5. It's too much. You just lose to the Bengals by double digits. You lose to Pittsburgh the week before, that's fine, but
He lost to the second best team in the AFC. I can see us talking next week and being like, so, Trubisky's starting for the Bears. Nick Foles is not the answer, and I hate to admit it, but Trubisky was not the problem. There's so many other problems. And I think Trubisky would be doing better with this team. More play call opportunities with more mobility, and he could at least avoid the rush. Nick Foles just takes sacks, throws into defenders. I hate Nick Foles. I used to like him. It's not our father's Nick Foles.
The only thing you said that was correct was Trubisky's mobility is the only thing that he has an advantage over Nick Foles.
Agreed, but they could use it. They could use it with this team.
Yeah, but you also want accuracy down the field. When Nick Foles throws it down the field, he actually gets it to the wide receiver.
He's missed Darnell Mooney and Allen Robinson countless times wide.
But he also
down
hits
the
them.
field.
Trubisky had more than Trubisky though.
Trubisky, I don't think has ever
Agreed.
hit that play. Trubisky can't even hit a guy in the flat.
Well, Trubisky can't throw the ball to his left, so I agree with that. But
And you got to have those flat options, right? Like, I don't know.
got to be able to hit David Montgomery for that 4-yard gain.
Right. The team is not better with Nick Foles. Or with Trubisky.
You're right. What's your third bet, Wong?
The only game that I'm taking, not the underdog. is the Pats versus the Jets. Pats -7. I just think they're just going to kill the Jets.
Alternate line, 13.5.
I'd consider that.
I'm not giving away more points.
Well, you get better odds.
I'm just taking a win. Just take the win. Like last week, I won like $60. I was upset I didn't win 400 because another missed field goal. But I'll take the win. Just take the wins when you can get them.
No, I agree with that. I think Bill Belichick's gonna smash Adam Gase. Nobody likes Adam Gase.
Nobody.
And I think this game could get ugly in a hurry. I don't see the Jets scoring double digits in the game.
Yeah.
I don't see them scoring more than 7.
And if the Patriots lose this game, the Patriots don't win another game the rest of the year. They're going full tank. Jared Stidham the rest of the way forward.
Cam Newton's losing his job if they're losing to the Jets. No questions asked. I wouldn't even be surprised I wouldn't have been surprised if he just got sad after that fumble against the Bills.
Well, the
last
game was
week,
over. Oh, you meant going into this game. I thought you meant set last week. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's what I meant. Man, you just gave away the game pretty much. Because even if they did nothing after that, they had a chance to tie it with that field goal. They were on the 15 or 10 or whatever.
Yeah, they were about to score. And
I think they were going to win the game.
Yeah, he just coughed it up. My last one is the over 52.5 KC Carolina. I think this is going to get bet up to probably close to 54, 55 points by the time it happens. Yeah, that was great. I think KC could score 42 on their own. Carolina's defense is not good, and McCaffrey coming back. Chiefs are going to. I think they might just keep trying to get Mahomes cooking the same way they did last week versus the Jets against a bad team.
Yeah, that was almost disrespectful, though.
They just.
Why are you still throwing bombs?
Because it doesn't matter. Because Andy Reid. I think this game could approach 60 points with the Chiefs putting up 42, close to 50 points on their own.
Right.
I think this is a smash spot. Carolina's defense is just awful. And McCaffrey coming back, they're going to score a little bit. Comeback mode. Chiefs get kind of lackluster. For sure, 52.5 over.
I like that. I also like the spread on it, too. It's 10.5, I believe.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot, but I still liking the Chiefs to cover.
It's a lot of points. I would take the over-under instead of the spread, though. I think that's just a smash play. I mean, they combined for 44 with the Jets scoring 9 points last week. I think Carolina's scoring 21 easily in this game. I like Carolina's weapons. Teddy Bridgewater's not going to look as bad as last week. That was a terrible weather game. And they have weapons. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey. The guy's a player. They're, 52.5. Smash that.
Agreed.
All right. So everyone's favorite part of the show, the Reach or Preach. And now that the Pretty Pete has lost, it's his turn to make the Reach or Preach against Hutton.
All right, Hoot.
Hold on, sorry. And whoever loses is gonna wax the hair on their legs.
Tell me it wouldn't fix.
Just so
match
big.
his face so well. We know who's winning this.
So he got some makeup. Next week he's just gonna wax his legs. Maybe the week after, like a spa day.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks from now, we're waxing his pubes on camera.
All right. So what's your Reach or Preach?
I'm going on a limb here, but it's what we do on this show. So I'm taking Justin Herbert to finish as a top 2 overall fantasy quarterback on the week. At the Raiders, 6 point per passing touchdowns. I just love Herbert in this spot. I think he's getting 33.5 minimum. I think he's scoring up to 35.
And I hope a hurricane hits the coast of California. Because I don't want to get this leg waxed.
I mean, I think you're sitting in a pretty good spot getting the field against Justin Herbert. I mean, I can't say I won't be surprised if he does get top 2, but there is definitely a lot of other quarterbacks that can beat him.
There is.
So we'll just have to see who gets to wax their legs next week. But that'll do it for us. Stay fair from KC.
So you put 2 different eyeshadows on him?
Are my eyes popping?
That's so poppin'. Jeez. You have like makeup all over your sweatshirt too.
What's this
Oh,
for?
wash off.